guys, as you see, there's a mirror. Why did they do this? Why are cats like this? This stresses me out so much. I have to hold this because I don't want her to knock it down. Why do you gotta go down there? I tell you no and you do it anyway. Guys, I got this for $9.99 at Goodwill. So this has those holes in the back, but I'm not really concerned because once books are in there, you're not going to be able to see that. And it does have the shelves. I just took them out because there's some just stains and like cobwebs that I have to clean out, and that is what I am going to do now. But this is so exciting to find something like this at the thrift store. Welcome to another vlog. It is September. It's a new month, which is so exciting, and this vlog is going to be a 5-star prediction vlog, so a lot of exciting stuff all around. I had my caffeine early today because it is Labor Day, so I hope you guys had a happy, fun, safe Labor Day weekend. But because of that, like, stores and restaurants close early, so I had to get my lunch a bit earlier than usual. So we're going to go through my weekly TBR. We have 3 hardbacks here, so I'm gonna get those first and then get the paperback. I know it's really heavy, even though these books are not that long. But the book that I'm reading to start my day with, since it's a holiday, I didn't work out today because, you know, give myself a nice break. But I have Erin's Diary. This is Dairy Girls, an official Dairy Girls book by Lisa McGee, who is the creator of the show. Again, this is another one that I bought and it took forever to get here because it had to come from the UK. And Erin is, I would say Erin is the main character of the TV show, and in the show she wants to be a writer, and we constantly see her writing in her diary, so this is what she was writing. I'm going to be starting this in a few minutes after I film this clip. I have the 5-star prediction, which is Horse by Gerdaline Brooks, and we are going to read the synopsis here together. And this, so I will be annotating this book, by the way. Okay, we start out in Kentucky, 1850. An enslaved groom and a bay foal forge a bond of understanding that will carry the horse to record-setting victories across the South. When the nation erupts in civil war, an itinerant artist who has made his name on paintings of the racehorse takes up arms for the Union. On a perilous night, he reunites with the stallion and his groom, very far from the glamour of any racetrack. New York City, 1954. A gallery owner, celebrated for taking risks on edgy contemporary painters, becomes obsessed with a 19th century equestrian oil painting of a mysterious province. Washington, D.C., 2019. A Smithsonian scientist from Australia and a Nigerian-American art historian find themselves unexpectedly connected through their shared interest in the horse. One studying the stallion's bones for clues to his speed and endurance, the other uncovering the lost history of the unsung black horsemen who were critical to his racing success. Inspired by the remarkable true story of the record-breaking thoroughbred Lexington, Horse is a novel of art and science, love and obsession, and our unfinished reckoning with racism. Now, why does this intrigue me? It's because we have like one thing connecting all these timelines. I love when stories do that. I love when we go through multiple timelines. And this one, I am a horse girl. I love Kentucky. I told y'all in the last vlog, my dream is to have a horse farm in Kentucky. That is the absolute goal in life. So this book sounds like it'll be right up my alley for that. My mood read that I started over the weekend, and that is The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce. This is a romance taking place in the late 1980s. We have Frank, who runs a vinyl store. He only sells vinyl. He won't sell any other, he won't sell cassettes, he won't sell CDs, only vinyls. And he has a special gift where he knows exactly what music that person needs at the moment. So therefore he's gained kind of a following, and basically all the misfits always end up in his shop. Very reminiscent of Barnes & Noble. In my teenage years, we all ended up at Barnes & Noble. And now there is a threat, like with the economy, they're like, you're not bringing in a lot of money because people aren't wanting to buy vinyls when CDs were just released and all of this. But Elsa, oh my gosh, they make a big deal of how to say her last name. Brockman is a young German woman who has just moved to the village, and she is a village, it's like suburban London. I feel weird saying suburban about somewhere that's not in like the US or Canada, but y'all get it. So she is new in town, she's engaged, but she is just kind of lonely, I think, and is wanting just to find her place in this new place. You know. And then my ebook is An Echo in the Bone by Diana Gabaldon. I am literally so close to finishing this book. I think I have like 2 chapters left. And this one is taking place in the 1700s, following a family, and there's some time travel elements involved. And that is the weekly TBR. Let's talk about horse. Where's the cover? Okay. Here is the cover. I got 20%. I read 85 pages. This is definitely a slow-paced book, and that's my only complaint about it. It's in the 4-star range right now. What is this? Random piece of cardboard. But Fred, I forgot you were in here. Okay, he's about to jump down or climb down. Okay, so let's go into my tabs. So I don't have a lot of colored tabs at the moment, so we are dog earing pages, but that's basically what we're doing here. If y'all are curious about when I dog ear, how I am doing it or whatever. So should I put that like right there? Okay. So the first, oh my gosh, these straps. I'm gonna take this out of my capsule wardrobe and put it in the dresser because I love how it looks, but then there's like these awkward gapping and the straps keep falling. Totally off topic. So the first thing is this guy, Theo, he's looking out his window because he's writing at his computer, and the neighbor is like getting rid of stuff, and the way he described the neighbor is literally me. She was the kind of thin-lipped, monosyllabic neighbor who didn't invite pleasantries, much less intimacies. That's me. I hate being that way, but I'm like, I've lived here like 20 years. It would be weird if I suddenly switched up the game. Next is a quote that I think will be a big theme of the story, and is a theme that I love in reading and think is so important and try to ingrain in people, and that's why I talk about it all the time. Every fragment told a story. Now this is Jess, who is working on DNA sampling of bones of animals. But still, I think you can use that in life. Every fragment told a story. You appreciate things in life a lot more once you realize that. Now we are introduced to our character Jarrett, who is our one in the 1850s, and he is born enslaved, and his mother was like in the house, and his first memories are being amongst the horses because he would sleep in the horse barn, and that was where he got his comfort. So I think the connection between man and horse in that plot line, this is the plot line that I'm really like, this is going to be it. This is going to be probably my favorite, and I just think that connection is going to be so great. It goes that far back, and he's gone through like everything with these horses. And I think that's just going to be a really good plotline. And we're seeing him come of age as well, which is a theme that I like a lot in my reading. And we have Thomas J. Scott, who is the painter. Something I thought was interesting, I was like, I don't think we've had first person POV before, and we hadn't. So I'm only curious, because I see this in a lot of books. Northwoods was our last 5-star prediction, and it happened in there. I wonder why an author will choose a certain character to change the tense or whatever of, but like the point of view, changing it from first to second or third. I'm really curious why authors decide to change, because I'm somebody, when I write, I strictly write in third person. I like when I write fiction, it's strictly third person. Sorry about the dog barking. I don't like first person, like it. I don't want to say I don't like first person, but it's not my favorite way to read something, but I do think it can be done well, and I think here it's being done well. But it's, I want to know what the process is of changing that. And then that was me being like, okay, this is our painter character,
And where's our next tab? Right here. Okay, so our character of Jess, she is the one who studies bones of animals. I don't know what exactly that's called, but she is going to the Cape Cod, to see this mouth of a well, and a guy made a Jaws reference, and I'm like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking of Jaws in this, because I was just thinking Jaws when they were like talking about this well mouth and in New England. I'm glad somebody else was thinking it. So for what other books would I relate this book to? For the Jess plotline, she reminds me of Fereni from Migrations, as she is a scientist working with animals, even though they're dead animals, but that. And then Jarrett's really reminds me of Kindred, which Storygraph did compare this book to Kindred by Octavia Butler. It just really, the atmosphere, the setting of his father is a freed black man in the South, and then Jarrett is not yet. He is still a slave. And the way of just where they live, the cabin reminds me of the cabin that Alice is in this book too, but that Alice lived in Kindred. It really, like, it's the same picture in my head, even though Kindred takes place in Maryland and this is in Kentucky. I'm not even sure if it's the same decade. No, this is like 20 years after Kindred, I think. But Kindred goes a lot of different years. Here's a quote. "You never get a second chance to have a first impression." And I love that, because we're talking, our character of Theo was going to this art gallery, and when he walked out, he went and got scribbled notes down about what he had seen. And that is why I filmed these clips right after I finished reading, because again, let me read the quote again. "You never get a second chance to have a first impression." Here's about the writing. How I told you I'm struggling with the writing of this book. A lot of prose versus dialogue. There's not a lot of dialogue in this book. And in some characters we do get a lot of the internal. So I wish there was more of that. I wish there was more dialogue. And then I don't know if this is showing, not telling, or is it the reverse. We're just getting a lot of action, seeing what these people are doing. So I'm not sure if that means showing and not telling, or telling, not showing. I never know the order of that. I've Googled it and have not gotten a satisfactory answer. And we have the title mentioned, and that is on page 70 of why the book is titled what it's titled, at least why I think it is. Obviously the word horse has been mentioned a lot, as this is a book about a horse and horses, the love of horses. But we got our backstory of why it's called what it's called. And then here's just me making note, or hold on, I skipped one. Yeah, another thing with like the Thomas J. Scott plot line, and in general, I've been getting a Gatsby vibe. I don't know if it's more so an F. Scott Fitzgerald vibe, but when I say something gives me a Gatsby vibe, I think of Nick in the 2013 movie. I don't know, you know, that movie, the one with Leo. When I say something has a Gatsby vibe, I am imagining Tobey Maguire in that movie, and how like he's telling the story. That's what this reminds me of. This has happened several times in books. Don't know why that is, but that vibe is so prevalent. So then I wrote down that the writing's my issue, and that is all of my notes in horse for the day. I got to the halfway point in The Music Shop by Rachel Joyce, so I want to tell you all my thoughts so far. Again, this is another one that is probably like a 4-star. The characters are extremely wholesome. Okay, the books that it reminds me of by characters, Frederick Bachman. This is very, like, if you like Frederick Bachman, give this one a go. The Lost Ticket by Freya Sampson, British romance, people coming together. And lastly, I had another, and I am blanking. Still Life by Sarah Winman. Again, just wholesome cast of characters, found family, those kind of tropes. So yes, I do love the characters on here. And then atmosphere, I love the atmosphere as well. This is very cozy. It is in the mid to late 1980s. This would be a perfect cozy winter read, as we are like in January. So very cozy, British vibes, British village. I really like that. The writing, Ooh, I don't know. I think I would give the writing like a 3. It's fine. It's fine. Again, it has the parentheses, and I don't like that. I wonder if that's more of a British thing to have parentheses in novels than an American thing. It'd be cool to look into that. And plot, yes. It's a good plot. I would say the main theme here is how music is amazing. It can bring people together. It's a universal language. I've stood by this for like 10 years now, that it is a universal language. There is a universal language that exists, and that is music. I also think texting lingo could fall into that as well, but music unites people, and that is amazing. But intrigue, I do get bored at times. This is a very quiet book, so I do get bored, and that is my only complaint, is that I get bored with it. So I read 24 pages in there. I'm gonna go get a bath and then read Outlander later and then edit. I've already started kind of editing this week's video, my September TBR, but I'm gonna finish editing. Happy Tuesday. I got my TBR card. I honestly thought these things would be deeper, so hopefully the books still stand in there, but I have my books here that I'm going to be putting in there, so I'm going to be doing that now. I have on top, these are books that are sequels or buddy reads that I have not got to. They're not going to be on the top shelf, but they're going to be on the bottom, so I guess we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, these are definitely not ideal for hardbacks. I got this for my bathroom originally to use for bathroom storage because I have like no storage in my bathroom, and I still need something like that, but again, it's just a pain getting help to build these things. So this is not the one that you usually see. I think the one that people usually use is from Michael's, but at the time when I bought this literally 5 years ago, and I've been waiting to have it built that long. So if you're buying one, buy the Michael's one. Don't buy this Target one if you are using it as a TBR card. So my next shelf is going to be my October TBR. Spoilers for that video. Now we have my November TBR right here. Okay, and then what the top shelf is going to be is books I need to show in videos. I don't know what my next video is going to be. I think it's probably going to be my, where I show books will be my wrap up or my haul. I need to see, so I'll put the books that I hauled on this top shelf. And there are the books that I've hauled this month. Oh, I'm Bud. Welcome to my vlog. I'm leaving now. Bye. I got to 41% in horse. Where is the thing? Okay, there it is. And oh my gosh, guys, this book is so long. Like, slow paced. I only read 80 pages, but it took me literally, I don't even know how many hours, because I got to the longest chapter 15 minutes before my fantasy football draft was about to be. Like, guys, I came prepared magazine. This is how many position, like how many players you can have at each position and all that. Like, I came prepared. I feel good about it, but I was like, yeah, I'm not going to. We had that stay yesterday. I don't know why it's not staying today, but okay. It wasn't happening. It was just so, this book is so slow paced, so that's why I'm updating y'all when it's already really dark outside. It's only like 8:25, but still. Let's go into my thoughts. Again, this is us feeling like a 4-star. First note here is Mary Barr, who is the granddaughter of the slave owner. and she's going to the racetrack for the first time. Black, white, rich, poor, the very old, the very young. As a closely kept daughter of privilege, she had never been in a crowd so diverse. And that's the thing about sports. Even back in the 1850s, it was bringing everybody together. How we talked about music being a universal language, I think sports is one of those things as well. Next we have, later she would remember that first kindness, the disciplined way he had made the anger leave his face, the swift change of subject. And I'm like, Theo is a sweetie, and more people should be like him, because just the way he handled this situation, instead of going off like, you know, like Maddie and Mame would, he handled it so well, and I was just like, he's a sweetie. And then there was a character with the same last name as me, which has just happened once before in Outlander, but I think in Outlander it wasn't spelt the exact same, like phonetically it would be pronounced the same, so that is just very rare for me to come across people with the same last name as me. And that is literally all for the notes, but I did want to talk about something that I thought about yesterday, and then I read a review on Goodreads, and that's when I was like, yeah, we need to talk about this in the vlog. So this book, those past timelines, I haven't got to that New York one, that's in 1954, have not got to that at all, but those past timelines in the 1850s set in Kentucky. I don't remember if Kentucky is a border state, because I know the Ohio River is where the Mason-Dixon line is. So one time somebody got offended by me saying that, so that's why I'm like, I don't know if, like, historically speaking, that's what I'd always heard of it referred to as. But okay, they crossed that line, the slave is free. Kentucky, I'm not sure if it's one of those states where it's maybe not the Confederacy, but slaves are, like, people were allowed to have slaves. I am not 100% on the history. It's something that I have to look into. But this is a white Australian woman writing in that time period, writing from a third person point of view of a boy who is enslaved. Now, I don't think my thoughts and perception on it are as important as a black reader or black reviewer. So definitely, if you want to know if this is well done or if it should be done, definitely look to somebody who is black, who has read this book or reviewed this book. But this is a white Australian woman writing somebody in that instant. I have not had any icky feelings personally. I feel like we could be leaning that way because now the story has gone to different places than it had before. I have read white authors writing slavery. I'm talking about The Indigo Girl by Natasha Boyd, where it was just really gross, and I'm like, how did this pass editing? I have not got that vibe with Horse, but I did want to tell y'all about that, so you are informed that this is a white woman writing a point of view of a black enslaved boy in the American South in the 1800s. I thought that would be important to mention, and I did think about that when I was reading it, and then I read one of my Goodreads friends' reviews, and I was like, okay, other people are thinking this too, so maybe I should address it in the vlog. But I'm gonna go have dessert now, and then read the music shop. I have several things to show y'all, but I did get to the over 25% into Erin's Diary by Lisa McGee, and oh my gosh, this reads literally just like Erin wrote it. I know Lisa McGee is the writer of the show, but sometimes that doesn't translate well to page, but this one, it does very well. It reads just like Erin. It's amazing. I don't know if I'm going to rate this book or not yet, but it's just something we'll have to see when I finish it, how I'm feeling. I went to Target today, but I did get this package, this short and sweet, because that is Sabrina Carpenter's album, and I bought the album today too, but I got that shirt on Spotify, random I know. So I did go to Target, and I got the short and sweet album. It was $40, so expensive. They used to be like $5 cheaper, but I know that's just how the world is. I know it's made in Germany, and usually when things are made in the West, they're more expensive. Like this t-shirt was made in the USA, so I'm shocked that it was cheap and good quality. But we got this. It doesn't say the song names on the back, which is very interesting, but that's really like unique how front, back, and then the album is a bubblegum marbled vinyl, and then there is a poster in here as well. Okay, what else did I get? Is it all up here? No. Oh, well, one is I got this pillow. Oh my, it's so cute and soft. Like, look at him. Like, you can just squeeze him. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. My cats, they're gonna love that. And I did get a book that I heard about on like TikTok. My copy is pretty beat up, but I don't really care if it's readable. It's a really like sturdy book as well. As you can see, it's not really that floppy. It's just really like heavy. So I had to check when I was in checkout to make sure there was nothing in there. But this is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. Okay, so here is what it's about. Ellery Quinn is fresh out of rehab when she takes a job babysitting Ted and Caroline Maxwell's 5-year-old son Teddy. She immediately bonds with this sweet boy who is never without his sketchbook. His drawings are unusual fare: trees, rabbits, balloons. But one day he draws something different: a man dragging a woman's lifeless body. Then his stick figures evolve into increasingly sophisticated sketches depicting one disturbing scene after another. Is Teddy troubled, or is he channeling forces he cannot possibly understand? Knowing just how crazy it all sounds, Mallory must decipher the images and save Teddy before it's too late. Only as in thrillers we're trying to save somebody, but it does have his drawings like throughout the book, which I think is super cool. And I think I got compared to No Exit when I did the Storygraph thing. And as I said, this is like a very sturdy book. It's Flatiron, who is the publisher. When was it published? 2022. I have gotten to over the halfway point in Horse now. I don't have a ton of new thoughts. I think this is going to be a high 3 because I realized I was like, am I enjoying this as much as I enjoyed Northwoods, which was a 4? And I don't think so, but when we do Call Pal, we will find out. I'm scared that that's going to be too low. I did not mark where I'm leaving off to do the vlog, so let me do that very quickly here. We'll do a blue color. This is so I don't read y'all the same notes over and over again, because that would not be fun for y'all. So we started on 165, so let's go back. There were not a lot of notes today, as I said. Yeah, I don't think we got a note until like 40 pages into reading, which isn't even one I can... Okay, so this is just about the characters, because I think the writing and then the characters would get a 3-star. They're good in a sense, but here's the issue. With the modern characters, they lack emotional depth. I'm not really drawn to them. I don't want to say they're not unique or anything new, but they kind of are, because they're scientists and a guy doing his PhD. I don't know, but they are... I haven't really read anything like that. The character most similar would be Franny and Migrations, but I'm just not drawn to them. And then the historical, I wish it was deeper. I am liking Martha, who we got introduced to about halfway into the book. I am liking that. I am intrigued by that storyline a lot, but I wish it was just deeper, and especially with Jarrett's plotline with Lexington the horse, I wish that it played more into that relationship between man and animal, man and beast, man and horse. I just would have liked to see more of that, and I have seen that kind of relationship between a person and an animal be portrayed well, like in Laika, which is a graphic novel, but between the scientist and the dog. I think that one did a great job. And even Song for a Well, which is a middle grade book, I'm not remembering the author's name, I can't really see it, my desk is in the way, but that's another one between a human girl and a well, where there is good animal-human interaction. And then this, on page 212, I have a character theory of how certain plot lines will connect, and then another one being like how this Martha's plot will connect with everybody else's plot in the story. We do know that the painting belonged to her at one point, but how did it get to belong to her? What is her connection to that painting? That's what we're trying to find out. Page 231. I thought there might be a romance between 2 characters, and I've actually thought it between more than 2 characters, not like in a polyamory way, but just between different characters throughout the book. I thought there might be romances, but like, why? I don't need this. It's not necessary to the story. Yeah, it'll probably add drama, but I don't want that. I didn't come here for that. So those are all my thoughts in Horse for the day. Definitely not living up to my expectations, but it's not bad in any way. But I just think there needed to be more done with the characters and the writing style. Is time to vlog again. As y'all saw, I went to Goodwill earlier and found a bookcase for $9.99, $9.99, and I got a book as well, so I'm going to show y'all that later in the vlog because it's not in here with me, and the book was a hardback for $1.99, so you know, I didn't find any bookends though. That was my main reason in going. I go to the thrift shops once a season, so I usually go the first month of the season, which is September. But I did not find any bookends, but I will be doing a TikTok on all the other stuff that I saw, but that probably won't be out for about a month. But we are here to talk about horse. I got to about 80%. I read 80 pages and I have about 80 pages left in the book. Should we go to Vegas? Because it was like all the same number, but okay. We started on 239. I didn't have a ton of notes today again. Yeah, that sucks when reading is like that, but sometimes it is, and that's just life, you know? On page 271, and this is just really a general thought. I always thought that the jockeys were the ones really close with the horse, because I mean, they're the ones riding the horse and everything, but it's really the trainers who are with the horses days in and days out. I don't know about now in the 2020s if it's the same as it was in the 1850s, but I would think so, just logically. I had never really thought of it, but I would, if somebody asked me, I would have thought it was the jockeys, but the jockeys are like barely there. Interesting, you know? And then, yes, so they're, I don't know if I should go into that. I'm sorry if you're hearing the dog barking. She started barking right time I finished reading. Okay, and then this is about our character Theo. This is on page 292, but I thought about it in his, or I think it was in one of Jess's chapters previous, but he is so sensitive. Like, oh my god, I would go off on this guy, but he's so sensitive. So he's meeting with Caroline, who is the English vet, who is the reason why they got the skeleton of the horse out. And she was like, they were at Oxford at the same time, and she's like, oh, you were on the polo team, I remember you, you were awesome. And he's so offended that she brought this up. So he didn't tell them that he was offended. He just stormed out of their dinner. And I understand why he was upset, but storming out like that, you are a grown-ass man. You are a grown man, not a 2-year-old. And so if I was in a situation in him, because I have been in situations where people have brought up things I don't necessarily want to talk about, just be like, hey, that's a sore subject for me. I don't want to talk about that, especially with somebody I don't know well. That is what he should have done, and I think that would have been perfectly fine. But no, the author has him acting like a 2-year-old and storming out of a dinner. Yeah, grow up, dude. So he was kind of irritating me today. And then this was a little section on page 300 that I thought was interesting. So Tim Broek, I guess is how you say his name, he went to England, and he was American, and brought the first to bring American horses to English horse racing, and they called it, the press called it the American Invasion. And he won big races and piled about with the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Edinburgh. Mind you, this is the 1800s, so I don't think it's the current, you know, people. Thought of there being an American invasion. We've had several British invasions in the United States, the main one being the 1960s with the Beatles. Who knew all that was predated by an American invasion in the UK? I never knew that, and so I wanted to underline that for me to research later. And then this was all into my theories of how this painting got to where it did, and then we have where I'm blogging. So yeah, Martha's sections are my favorite, and we only got one chapter of her today. I want more of her. I'm really liking that storyline, but it's obviously the one the author wrote about the least in this book. But I am going to go eat dinner, and again, I will show y'all the book that I got at Goodwill, and I did show y'all the bookcase already, so I had a good day. It's time to end out the vlog, but I did get to over 75% into the music shop, and this reading vlog has just been pretty average books, like 3-star category of books. This one, characters, they're very wholesome characters, found family, atmosphere. I love the atmosphere. It's probably my favorite part. This is very cozy, and I do think it does a good job at setting the tone for this time period in Britain. The writing, it makes me think. I'm going to say it's a reflective writing style, because that's the reason, even if this is a 3-star, I'm not going to unhaul it, because this book has made me think a lot just about music and certain songs, silences in music, and yeah, I think it's really fascinating. But I would recommend probably doing this as an audiobook, which is kind of cool because music is audio, so you know. And then the plot, I would give a 3. It's just very meandering at times. Not a lot is happening. It's a very quiet novel. And then intrigue, I would give a 3 as well for those same reasons. But then we had the mystery of Elsa and who she is and all of that. And then kind of the crime that's happening in their town or on their street. Interested what's happening there. And then the book that I hauled today from Goodwill is this one. I got it for $1.99, which you can't do much better for a hardback other than the little free libraries. But this is Texas Rich by Fern Michaels. It is a big historical, and it's a series all throughout the history of Texas, which I really like Texas settings and books. And a lady at the checkout was telling me she loves this book. She's read all of Fern Michaels' books and that she's great. So that's very exciting. I love to see people being passionate about books. It makes me so happy. So I got this one today. It's definitely over 5. Where my light bulbs went out. Oh no, it was... Oh, I see. Fred was sitting on my... He was sitting on the outlet. Like, it's plugged into my computer, the light thing. But this book, we're seeing if it's how long it is. So yes, it is a tome. It's a little over 500 pages. But yes, we did not finish a book in this vlog. And that's something, since I hit 50% of the way to my reading goal, I can take 5 days to read a book now. And therefore I'll be finishing it tomorrow. But the book that we're going to be reading in next week's vlog, I don't have my physical copy on hand, but it's going to be Uncle Paul by Celia Fremlin. I'm going to be doing the audiobook for that if I can find one. Hopefully there is one. And this one is a kind of classic thriller from 1959 is when it was published. I think it's going to be a great transitional piece as it takes place at like a seaside vacation. These girls, it's their brother-in-law, but their half-sister is like way older than them, so he's an uncle figure to them. But his murderous past was revealed and he went to prison. Now it's 15 years after and he is being let out of prison, and they're just really scared of how it's going to go and if he's going to be seeking revenge or anything like that. And so that's the book that's going to be the focus in next week's vlog. It is a bit of a short book, so I don't think it will take me 5 days to read it, but you never know. But I did want to fill y'all in on what we're reading next week. And as I said, it will be a great transitional book. It was 70 degrees and cloudy this morning when I went out to lunch, and I was freezing at the restaurant because they have an outside fan too that's just on anyway for the cool down customers while they wait. And I was so cold because, as you can see, I'm just in a mini dress. It was cold out there, so it is getting to be in like fall here, which is super exciting. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it all the way through, leave a leaf emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.